Hello. Dyma, first off, let me say that it's been a pleasure serving with you on our steering committee, and thank you for your continued support and guidance. I wanted to answer a few questions I've been getting from the community that might also be your questions to try to help you decide what role you all want to play in this project. First off, I'm not running for office. No one's asked me to do this. No one's paying me to do this. There's no mandate. It's clearly a project that I saw and started. And as I talked about it more with the community, the results were it was needed. What is this project, Connect and Propel Tampa 2019? Is an idea that I had that's now formed a lot greater than when I first started it, when I met David Cooperrider. David Cooperrider is an internationally acclaimed facilitator of a process that he co-created called Appreciative Inquiry. I met David in Cleveland almost 5 years ago when I was studying to be certified to be a practitioner in Appreciative Inquiry. And when I met David and was so impressed with the work that he had done, not only with the United Nations, worked with the Dalai Lama in creating the United Religions Institute, which you can read more about, a lot of information on creating a multi-religious foundation to help create 100 multi-ethnic centers around the world. He worked with the U.S. Department of Navy, he's worked with Walmart, he's worked with Apple, but he basically has pioneered a large group planning process that basically brings a number of people, and we are targeting in Tampa 800 people, into a room for 2.5 days to not only discover what we most love about our community and the people in our community, those assets and strengths that are the foundations for what we build anything upon, but also those common dreams and aspirations that we share together. Then we go to work on making them happen, actually designing projects and creating project plans that get launched that live on beyond the summit. I got this idea when I saw what David did for the city of Cleveland. Cleveland started their project at a time when they had a lot of exodus from their inner city. The large industries that had been the bedrock for their success were moving out, and they were looking for something new to do. They were in trouble, frankly, and they created a project called Sustainable Cleveland. I said, if Cleveland can do that when they're in trouble, imagine if you took this process and applied it to Tampa, which is successful, which has a lot going for it. We're riding a lot of energy right now. But I also learned that the best time to change is when you're strong, not when you're beaten up or the economy's against you or you have some type of adversity that comes up. It's when, in fact, you have resources. And right now, we are at a perfect time in our history in Tampa to have a new mayor with a lot of energy, existing momentum, bringing this world-class facilitator with a world-class process to our community to be able to start to work together. What does it mean to be a sponsor? We are looking for 100 companies who are willing to put up $5,000 in exchange. They get one seat at the summit. At that summit, then they're asking 7 other people that are by invitation to come to the summit. We're looking for 800 people, so for every sponsorship, the sponsor is basically giving a scholarship of 7 spots to people who are coming to the summit who may not been able to pay for it. Maybe they could, but the reality is that there's no fee to come to the summit. It's by invitation only, and our stakeholder group is working with that Dyma's working on. We decided to match the census for Tampa, so we're hoping that the diversity that we bring includes racial and ethnic diversity to our process. In this whole system planning that David Cooperrider developed, it's important to have every stakeholder group represented so that at the end of the day, the plans that are created had the input from all stakeholders. They also now should have all the buy-in from all the stakeholders to move forward. I think that the current project is looking like first overall broad is to create a shared vision for our community. And shared means we have the same one on a longer term vision. We tend to let politicians decide for us what's going to happen in the next 4 or 8 years. But really, some of these long-term changes, 4 and 8 years are not long enough. So this is looking outside of government into the future. Although the mayor and the mayor's office are involved in the project as an important stakeholder, they're not driving this project. This is a grassroots project driven by citizens from the community. The other thing in the interviews that we've done so far, it's really obvious that there's a great deal of civic pride in Tampa as a community that welcomes others into it. Whether they immigrated in the 1800s from Italy or Spain or Cuba, or recent immigrants from other countries and or other parts of the United States, the words that I keep hearing are that we're a welcoming community, that we're open, that we're inclusive, that you can come make this your home, whether you've been here for 6 months or for 50 years, it doesn't matter. I've interviewed 5 Chamber of Commerce presidents recently who were not from Tampa. They moved here, they became part of the community, and they were able to, through their work and commitment, go through the process of becoming chairs and presidents of the Chamber of Commerce here. And lastly, there's a number of items that are really important to people, and again, the summit will amplify those that have the most energy around them. We hear a great deal about education. We hear a great deal about transportation, workforce development. We hear about affordable housing, the environment, resilience, sustainability, to name a few, because there's as many interests out there. This project will not only create a shared vision for our community, reestablish the culture that we think is important to take into the future, and then figure out what projects are important to go do to make that vision and that culture sustainable and make this community great. We have a lot going for us, but we have plenty of work to go do. The time to get stronger is when you're already strong. I thank you in advance for your support and appreciate your interest. Thank you.